okay now. Stay cool. It's just a dragon.
You okay there, dude? You okay? Do you need some water? Do you need some water or something? I can get you a snack. Would a snack work? Yeah? Would you like a snack? A snack and some water? Would that work? Maybe some tea or something? Are you dead?
Huh?
Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome to my review of Dragon Rider, a movie that came out in 2020, is based on a German book and is also a German-made movie, and stars Thomas Brody Sangster as Fire Drake, Felicity Jones as Sorrel, Freddie Highmore as Ben, and Patrick Stewart as Nettlebrand. So there's some good couple names in the movie. I like the cast, so they got that going for it. So this movie starts off like so many animated movies these days, with a different style of animation, with a narrator telling a story of how it all started, making you wish you were actually watching that movie instead. Just like they did in Wire and the Last Dragon. Basically, humans and dragons used to live together, but as usual, humans have to go and ruin everything and want nothing but power. So they start a war with the dragons, and one scientist dude created Nettlebrand, a dragon-eating beast that's only goal is to hunt down and kill dragons. Even though he also ate his creator, this doesn't really come into anything, but sure. He went on a rampage and dragons scattered, and he went back to his master's castle hungry. Centuries passed and now it's modern day with the dragons kinda in hiding? Not really. They just don't openly fly around, but there's so many in this forest. Pretty sure modern day tech would spot them. But whatevers, you're not supposed to think about it in this movie. But I have to say, this font they use kinda reminds me of something. So we are introduced to Fire Drake, which is a bit of a weird name, as that's like normally a type of dragon, not a name for one. But whatever, and his brownie friend Sorrel. So they don't say what this is for a long time, and that kinda bothered me. Now I understand, like, why they kinda waited and blah blah. Like, why would she need to explain it to all the other dragons? It's like her waist like lives with all of them. But as a viewer, I want to know, what is it? It isn't until much later when a human comes to her that she explains, and that's fine, I understand, just, yeah. So she is a forest brownie, which is a mythical creature that sneaks into your house to clean during the night, in short. And it's what Dobby was based on, so there you go. So what's their story and the story of the movie then? Well, a basic one. He's bored and wants to live the life of a real dragon, like the stories of old, flying around freely and even getting excited about flying with a human.
Where's the fun in hiding all the time? Bottleneck doesn't allow us to do anything.
So basic. He's also told by an old dragon there's a paradise for dragons called the Whim of Heaven. Whim. Oh my, that does sound like paradise. So the character design... So I like Sorrel, which I'm probably saying the name wrong, Sorrel, whatever. It's one of those. But Fire Drake is really kind of basic. Now, there's a reason for him being a silver dragon that plays into it later, but some of his facial expressions, oh boy, they're bad. Some are great, but mostly not. They are kind of hilarious though, but what this does have going for it is its backgrounds. The backgrounds are absolutely gorgeous in this movie. Some of the night shots, and in one scene it changes from night to day, and it just looks breathtaking, honestly. They absolutely nailed that, so credit where credit is due, as I like to say. So we see the humans are destroying the land and coming ever closer to the dragons. So Fire Drake decides to go look for the Whim of Heaven. Sorrel comes along, but we do get a scene of him saying he has never flown before. So, alright, classic scene of things with wings trying to learn to fly and probably crashing a few times. Or just extremely quick joke and he's fine and never has any issues. Yeah, this kind of stuff happens a lot. Spoiler alert, he can't breathe fire. But once he does, it happens so quickly that it's like, oh, okay, that happened. And I don't know, like, what it is, but that's just how it feels. Like, it doesn't, nothing impacts me. Also, I would feel like evolution would kick in and not give dragon wings so they never use them. Legasp! Lizards are dragons in hiding! I figured it all out! But yeah, maybe because I've seen it all before, in ways and done much better, like in How to Train Your Dragon, for example, of which a lot of people have compared this movie to. Which, this movie is completely different story-wise and world-wise. It's very, very, very different. What? Place they live kinda looks like Burke. Main dude almost could pass for Hiccup. And then as it goes on, well, okay, so we see it as a modern day setting thanks to a plane flying past, and we see a city up ahead, and they decide to go there and check it out. Because I hear about this mysterious being that knows all.
The internet.
Internet. Okay, let's go ask the internet.
Honestly, made me chuckle. Old joke, I know. Kinda made me chuckle though. And we meet the human character, Ben, who is nameless most of the movie, and we see him as a thief. But this animation, it was fine for all the dragons and other such creatures, but on humans, something is just off. Maybe it's a big staring eyes that you see most of the movie, or just doesn't feel fast enough when he's running. Something is just off about it, and it's like that for all the movie with all the human characters. But yep, he runs off and comes across a movie festival for How to Tame Your Dragon. Sounds like a porn parody. May I join? But again, this is based on a book, but this book was made before How to Train Your Dragon books. So this straight up feels like the animator's idea to have this, and yeah, it was in the trailers and definitely feels like they were banking on How to Train Your Dragon a bit. And that's kind of sad because it didn't need to, in my opinion. Because that kind of ruined the marketing for me, as it could stand on its own. Hell, even Ben steals one of the costumes and looks like a cosplay of Hiccup. But a big part of why this is like so Firedrake gets confused as to who he is when they meet later. They arrive at a dock and just so happens to end up where Ben lives. We learn later his parents were killed in a car crash, so he's an orphan living here. Tool wanders off and Firedrake waits in the warehouse and does see the movie poster of a human riding a dragon, which excites him. Because he doesn't know what a movie poster is. Ben ends up coming in and he just thinks he's like some costume up dude. But nope.
That, my friend, is a pretty awesome costume. You're with the movie, right? Oh. Come on, little guy, where are you? Oh. That kinda feels...
But he lines up for the poster and is wearing the outfit and thinks, that's him in the poster. As though Ben is like, oh yes, that's me. I'm a dragon rider. Which Fireday doesn't even know what that is anyway. Shaw comes back and doesn't trust him at all, which is a big part of the movie, those two hating each other.
He's a dragon rider. He can help us find the Rim of Heaven.
Please, don't fall for his tricks. The human is a liar and a cheat.
But I mean, she's right. Humans are cheats and liars. And that's exactly what Ben is. She's not wrong. And later they even do the whole like classic, oh look, Firedrake and Ben are getting along. I'm beyond one out. Oh, I'm gonna be sad now. Which again happens so quickly and it's over and done with. And like, why even bother having a scene like that? It just kind of frustrates me because this could be a great movie, honestly. The police come, so he agrees to help and they fly off. Later they come across a dwarf who mention a legend that if they find the Rim of Heaven, silver will be worth more than gold. That's what the legend says. In other words, the kid thinks there's going to be silver and gold there, making him even more excited, while one of the dwarfs runs off to go tell the villain Nettlebrand, played by Patrick Stewart, and I honestly love this character, more so because he was just like so cartoony that it was weird, but there's so much enjoyable stuff with him. Like he has this tiny little slave thing and he says he is bored and wants him to do something. So he tells him about a dating website and I start setting up a dating profile. Honestly, that's kind of great. It was dumb. Yes, I absolutely agree it was dumb. But it made me chuckle, not expecting it. Like he wants to meet for fun and frolics. What a kiki metal dragon.
Dislikes, not eating dragons. Likes, eating dragons. Oh, and golf, and feeling the soft summer breeze on my face.
But apparently really loves to eat dragons, but has never seen or heard of a silver dragon before. So he really wants to eat one. But here at one point as well, the crows are squawking so loudly it covers up the dwarf talking. And I think I picked that up at least twice in this movie. That's kind of bad audio work there.
Now you're talking language.
But so as night turns into day, which was kind of cool, Nettlebrand manages to find Firedrake, but they escape just in time. Nettlebrand sends out the little dude to go after them on the back of the crow, but how will they communicate?
I've lived in your
yourself for 500 years. I know nothing of the world beyond. How will I communicate with you?
Skype me.
That's kind of funny. After that, they end up at some ruins. We see Fire Drake can't breathe fire, and we get Ben's backstory as we encounter a friendly archaeologist type who knows all about the weird creatures and wants to open up like a reserve for them. So, they know these things exist. Like, he doesn't flinch when seeing a dragon. This world is kind of confusing like that, if apparently humans forgot about all this. It's one of the problems I do have with the film. We cut back to Nettle Dragon and the one dwarf that follows him throughout the movie now. Which, they try to make him funny, and he's not really. He's not.
Oh, my roar, you roar. Look at us both. We're both roaring.
Shut up, shut up, shut up!
But he like sees the dragon's dating profile and he starts to sing, and thankfully, nettlebrand stops him. Thank God.
You have a sensitive side. Nothing to be ashamed of. Let me give you a little word of advice. If you're looking for some loving...
Oh, no, you don't!
That was actually kind of funny. Like, yes, there's no singing in this movie. That's the one time they tried to sing and he just stops it. That was kind of funny. And then he gets a call from the little dude. I like that basically just on the phone. It's just a funny image to see this big menacing metal dragon just on Skype on his phone. And I like the detail of being able to hear his voice echoing on the other side. Again, credit where credit is due. That was kind of really cool.
First, they must seek out the thousand-eyed djinn.
No, no! The djinn will destroy them! Stay with them!
We get some scenes with a new human character being all nice to Ben as he sees what happens to his parents, and it was all like, hey, you should come help me at the reserve. Ah, he will be his new dad. He ends up telling them about places that could help them understand where they need to go, so they head off and we get a music montage that was honestly enjoyable to watch. Mostly for how nice it all looks. It can truly look amazing and beautiful. There's some general funny scenes in there too. I did like this part. And the little dude is hiding in Ben's bag, and we do get some funny scenes with him being tossed about. After this, the world gets taken by a big bird. We get a little chase scene that again looks nice, and then Fire Drake blows blue fire. But as I mentioned at the start, it happens so quickly, it's like, oh, okay, guess that happened. I don't know. I felt no impact at all. Then Ben and him are all excited, like, yeah, we fire, woo, Israel feels so left out. Yep, that basic thing, which goes nowhere, is over and done with really quickly. Next up, they meet up with a djinn, a mystical genie-like being that can tell them how to get to the Wind of Heaven, if they ask questions that never been answered before. They manage to trick him and Ben ends up getting something done to him so that he knows the location, though he does end up a little crazy at first.
Dragon Rider, come back to us!
What's wrong with him?
I don't know.
I kind of like him better this way.
You're the Dragon Rider!
Swell ends up jokingly asking, how do we get out of here? Which now makes the djinn want to kill them for asking a question he's already heard. It's like, it's well done because, like, you can just fly upward. I understand it was kind of like done as a joke kind of thing, but it still seems like a really weak reason to have the djinn start fighting them. But then it's also a good way to distract nettlebrand as he pops up and starts fighting the djinn while they then escape. Back home we see the dragons and the fellow brownies have been searching for the others, and then the dragon convinces the big dude in charge that maybe the humans took them. And so now it's time for war. While back with Fire Drake and the others, Ben did get like a bunch of visions of where the Wind of Heaven is, but he seems to have forgotten. So they end up in like India or something, I don't know. Pretty sure it is. Lots of scary people here though, and maybe a racist stereotype. I don't know, but I felt uncomfortable watching it, honestly.
Set down this property.
But madame, samosa, who's hungry?
Zebak, now's not the time for treats and refreshments.
And they go to a temple that is the resting place of the only human to ever ride a dragon. Wait, only human? Only one person has ever ridden a dragon? But the dragon said human and dragons used to fly together. What? But it was just one? That's not good storytelling. You don't even know the story yourself. Also in this shot, why do the others look so depressed? They really want human to ride them. Kiki. But we find out a bit more about Nettlebrand and the Wind of Heaven. They then discover the little dude who's been hiding out in Ben's bag, and he tells them he hates being a spy and never wanted to work with Nettlebrand. And so tries to trick him in a Skype call, but he ends up seeing them in the end. They wander off and end up in the snowy mountains, and this is where Ben starts getting visions and understanding where to go. So here, they did have one amazing reference, I do admit. Nettlebrand showed up, so they fly around some icy caverns, and we get this. Such a good reference. Eventually we manage to get away with him, though here comes a cliche. So they find this room with dragon statues, and they're just like, is this it? This is the web of heaven? There's nothing here. This is such a cliche, because of course that's not it. Of course you would need something to truly find a place. It's such a cliche I honestly get sick of. So when we next see Nettlebrand, we see his body is actually made of gold, not simple metal and rust. He becomes all gold, so like, oh, prophecy, silver will be worth more than gold. Ooh. Okay, so they fight, and Ben, who walked off, comes back to tell the prophecy, but like, yeah, okay, that's great, but how does that help? It doesn't. But then we're like, you don't need me to breathe fire, which is what Drake believes in. In the end, they all end up getting caught, but little dude makes up a fake profile, making Nettlebrand look like a girl, and then messaging him. Honestly, again, it's really dumb, but I don't know, it made me chuckle.
You will make a tasty appetizer, human. Would you please excuse me for one moment? Oh my.
The texting, as the kids say, is kinda sus. And then as Firedrake tries to breathe fire, this happens first. Oh no, he inflated, oh no, the fan art that could come from this, oh no. But yes, he releases his flame of blue fire, which guesses like the hottest of fires in, so he melts down Nettlebrand. And for the necklace he had around it that had a jewel in it, this is actually the key to the Rim of Heaven. And I must say, it does truly look beautiful. Again, they really nailed the backgrounds. The Rim of Heaven looks beautiful. In the end, Ben decides to move on from the past and go live with the archaeologist dude and his family. We see him mowing the lawn with some kind of creature at one point too. But he also gives back the jewelry he stole in the beginning and gives a little more. So now he good dude. Firedrake and Swell are way back home before war starts, and they live happily ever after in the Rim of Heaven. I mean, I would too, if you know what I mean. So that's the movie. And it's a bit of a mess. It can be very cartoony. With like the villain has like a little round submarine he goes around in, and it just reminds me of Team Rocket. It can be very cartoony like that, but it's also very enjoyable.
Sorry about that.
It's not a bad movie. I did enjoy it for the most part, but I also see a lot of the bad parts, like the human faces and animation isn't great. Ben's voice actor, who I love him, Freddie Highmore. He's a great actor. I don't really feel like his voice really suited him, to be honest. So it did and it didn't, you know. It didn't quite work. The villain, while fun, is very comical, and that can be a bit of a minus. But the backgrounds were very beautiful. Some of the jokes landed for me, so I will honestly have to give this movie a 6 out of 10 foxes. That mostly comes down to how beautiful it can look, as it's a pretty average movie. But it's just those little things for me that give it those couple extra points. So I hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know what you think about this review down in the comments below. Let me know if you've seen this movie and what you think about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel, because I'll love you if you do. Hit that bell icon. And this fox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now.